The Lebel 1886 is a weapon for the Scout class, and it has two variants, the Infantry and Sniper. It is part of the They Shall Not Pass DLC, and therefore has a couple of requirements you need to meet before you can equip it. To unlock the Infantry version, you need to get 50 kills with the Gewehr M95 Infantry, which is unlocked at Scout rank 0. And you also need 20 spot assists with the flare gun. The Sniper version is unlocked by achieving 5 headshots in a round with the Russian 1895 Sniper, which is unlocked at Scout rank 0. And you also need 10 periscope spot assists. This doesn't need to be done in a round and can be done over multiple games. The stats of the Lebel 1886 are fairly simple, as both variants share the same, apart from the Sniper having a decrease to its bullet spread. For its rate of fire, it sits at 56 rounds per minute, and that's the 7th best out of all the other snipers. As for the bullet velocity, it's 720 meters per second, that's the 9th best, and it can hold 8 rounds in its chamber. The reload time is not a confusing one, but it's a bit different to other weapons. So there's a pre-reload delay of 0.7 seconds, and then each round that gets chambered, it's 0.43 seconds per round, and then this is the one that puts people off this weapon. And it has a post-reload delay of 2.53 seconds. So the full reload takes 6.5 seconds really to get the weapon fully reloaded. But there is a way that I'll show you later on for you to get rid of that post-reload delay and speed up the reloading of the weapon. As for the bullet drop, once again, both variants are the same, that being between 0 and 30 meters, it's 80 damage, then 30 to 50 meters, it's 80 to 100 damage. So once you get to that 50 meters, that's when the sweet spot starts to kick in. Then from 50 to 130 meters, it's 100 damage to the chest, so that's the sweet spot zone of this weapon. Then after 130 meters, it starts to go back down to 80 damage, and it's just a flat 80 then at any distance after that. With these stats, the Lebel is a jack of all trades, as it doesn't excel in one specific area, but it can hold its own on the battlefield. And I'd say, as for engagements, when I've used it, I found close medium to long range engagement work well, with both variants sharing similar stats. You may be wondering which one should you go with. Now, the Lebel is one of the more average sniper rifles in Battlefield 1. It doesn't exactly do well in any area compared to other sniper rifles. However, the thing about Battlefield 1 is that nearly all sniper rifles are a viable choice and can hold their own, and the Lebel is no different. So which variant would I recommend? Starting off with the Sniper, it's the 8th best for bullet velocity, and that's how fast the bullet travels. It isn't really designed for those long range engagements like the Gewehr 98. However, its sweet spot makes it a viable choice on those medium range maps where the distance between flags isn't far, and you can sort of minimize or control your engagement distances to avoid close range engagement. So maps such as Luco Pass and Giant Shadow I found are perfect for this weapon, and maps sort of like Amiens, where you're always in SMG shotgun range, aren't the best. If you played Amiens, going alley to alley, street to street, you're going to get a point where you're going to just come across a SMG player and more than likely get dropped. Whereas Luco Pass and Giant Shadow, you can sort of sit a bit back or sit between flags and sort of control those open areas of the map more. Do be aware it has a narrow sweet spot that I found sort of suddenly drops off, so you may find yourself having to hit an enemy twice in order to down them, unless you headshot them or hit them in the sweet spot zone. But I found staying near teammates, if they get 1 or 2 bullets into the enemy, all you have to do is hit them with 1 and you can drop them for the assist or the kill. As for the infantry variant, this is where the Lebel seems to shine, as it's one of the more cleaner and clearer iron sights I found out of any of the other snipers, and it just makes the aiming and tracking of enemies easier, as I found I didn't end up losing them in a bulky sight. Coupled with the stats, the infantry version is seemingly set up perfectly for those medium range engagements. But if you prefer having a scope like myself, you can always use the sniper variant and just put the low magnification on it, which I did for this video when using the Lebel. The infantry variant is one of those that a lot of people seem to recommend, and I do believe that with the sniper version, or variant, sorry, it highlights the Lebel's slower bullet velocity and drop off in damage. As with the scope, you tend to find yourself wanting to engage enemies at those greater distances. But I do still recommend giving this weapon a go. You know, even though it seems it's quite an average sniper rifle, you know, it doesn't excel in close range, say, as the Russian 1895 trench, and it doesn't excel at those, you know, long range engagements that the Kuba 98 has the advantage with its bullet velocity. I still, you know, recommend giving it a go. The sound alone is it just sounds really meaty when firing a round out of the Lebel. I don't know why, I just love the sound of it. And if you ever play on those medium range maps, just give it a go, you know. But if you specifically want to run, you know, any guns at close quarter range, I've already mentioned them. There are better snipers that excel in those areas. As for the setup, I'll just keep it brief. So the secondary weapons are bounced between the number 3 revolver and the Bodio 1889. As for gadgets, I had the flare gun, which is what I always run when playing scout. You know, you get a nice amount of XP, helps yourself and your team out by spotting enemies. And it was a toss-up between the K bullets and the trip mine. I switched between the two. If there was like the tanks everywhere, and just sort of, you know, I wouldn't just be, you know, trolling the tank and just being a bit annoying, I'd put K bullets on. But most of the time I had the trip mine HE on, and on these open maps I'll just stick them randomly, like in high traffic areas, and just, you know, get the odd kill here or there. As for grenades, I found smoke. Once again, this helps, you know, as always, moving around the map, blocking enemy lines of sight. Perfect if you're getting pinned down when playing as a sniper. Just drop it in front of you. You can fall back, get into a better position, and ready to engage enemies for when they sort of inevitably push you. As for specializations, I had quick unspot, so decrease the time you're spotted with 2 seconds. Awareness, so enemies spotted by you remain spotted 25% longer. Helps yourself and your team just keeping track of enemies. I also had cover for the reduced suppression, as you know, when you're playing a sniper, the LMG guys and everyone just seems to target you with the sniper glint. This helps, you know, being a bit more accurate with your shots. And then I also had slink for quieter footsteps. You can also run inconspicuous, so when stationary or moving slowly, you remain unspotted by flares. I know obviously you can only have 3 specializations at a time, but those are the ones I was always switching between, depending on what the situation called for. But I always had slink at least selected for those quieter footsteps, as you know, most people have a headset on PC and even on console, and you just want to be as quiet as possible if you're sneaking around the battlefield. As mentioned earlier on, we'll quickly cover how to speed up the reload of the Lebel. Whether you're doing a full reload or a partial reload, you know, the time's still the same. So just doing a quick full reload here, you can see you sort of has to cock the bolt back twice, and then when you're doing a partial load, you just the same thing, but also loads like not an additional bullet, but I don't know what it is, but basically it's a long time. Now if you just switch to either your secondary or a gadget, I prefer the secondary. You can just cancel that last bit out where you just that double bolt back thing, and you can just speed up the reload and shave off 2 seconds. What are your thoughts on the Lebel 1886? You know, is it a weapon worth using? Do you recommend anybody else using it? Do you have any tips specifically for it? How many service stars have you got on it? Let us know in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like. If you want to see me do any more videos like this, drop a comment down below about any weapons you want me to cover. If you want to see more content like this, as well as tips, guides, and more, make sure to subscribe. And if you're new to Battlefield 1, check out this scout breakdown that I did for the scout class, as well as this new player's guide. And until the next one, have a good one.